Ladies and gentlemen, why living alone beats any relationship. Living alone, now that's freedom, isn't it? Nobody to answer to, nobody to ask, what's for dinner, or where have you been all day? It's just you. Your space in the world outside, buzzing with its noise, but you. You're in control, no compromises, no adjusting your rhythms to someone else's. I think about it often, how wonderful it is to be untethered, no expectations other than the ones I give myself. A relationship, well, they say it's about partnership, they say it's about love, but all I see are strings that tie you down, or maybe it's the tangle of them that makes it all so messy. You give, you give, you give. Again, sometimes you wonder if it's too much. Too much to give and not enough to get back. Oh, but when you live alone, that is power. You wake up in the morning is yours. You open your eyes, stretch, roll out of bed in your own time without hearing, are you up yet? Or feeling that pull to be somewhere with someone. And I think, what is it about them that people crave? The companionship, the constant flow of someone else's thoughts. But is that enough? The long conversations, the arguments, the making up. So much to give away, so little to keep for yourself. It's all a game, isn't it? A dance of who's doing what for whom. And yet, when you live alone, the only person you need to keep happy is you. You get to decide, you get to choose. I can wear what I want when I want. I can dance around my living room, arms flailing in joy without anyone laughing at me. I can listen to my music loud, soft, whatever I feel like in the moment without worrying about whether someone else likes it. My space is mine to be filled with my own things, my own rules. No waiting on someone else's approval. It's a room of my own, a mind of my own. And the best part, I'm the only one who leaves the dishes. I'm the only one who forgets to close the cupboard. No one's there to complain. No one's there to judge. No one's there to make me feel small for wanting just a moment of peace. No one to answer to but myself. How can anyone compete with that? No one. Living alone lets you breathe. Living alone lets you exist. You're not forced to bend or shift, to accommodate someone else's idea of how the world should be. You get to be as messy, as perfect, as disorganized, as structured as you want. And when you want company, well, then you can open your door, invite who you like, keep the noise in, or send it away. There's no pressure, no guilt, no expectations. Relationships, they say, are about building something. But sometimes you just need to build something for yourself. And I think maybe that's the secret. You build your own joy, your own space, your own life. Relationships, they give you a mirror. But when you live alone, you are your own mirror, your own reflection. And sometimes that's the best thing to see. And here's the thing, people might say I'm missing something. They might say I'm not complete without someone else to hold my hand, to walk beside me through this world. But I think I am complete. And I think maybe, just maybe, living alone is the only way you ever truly get to find out who you are. Alone, no distractions, no excuses, just you. Living alone is a declaration of freedom, a pure form of autonomy that cannot be matched. There's something liberating about waking up in the morning and knowing that the day is yours with no one else to answer to. The decisions you make are yours alone, and they shape your day, your routine, your life. There are no expectations from others pressing down on you, no one to check in with, no one to please. You move through your day without a constant sense of obligation, no demands to meet or schedules to keep that don't align with your own desires. You control your time in a way that feels utterly powerful. If you want to stay in bed all day, you can. If you want to go for a walk in the middle of the night, that's entirely up to you. No one's there to question or comment. No one's there to disrupt your flow or dictate how you should spend your moments. Your time is yours to spend as you see fit, to waste, cherish, or to fill with whatever brings you joy. Space, too, becomes a personal sanctuary. Every corner, every item, every arrangement of your environment is by your design. You're not negotiating with anyone over what should go where or how things should be. The mess, the organization, the silence, the noise, everything is in your hands. It's a realm where every choice is empowered, and the boundaries of your world are shaped only by your own desires. The freedom to create, destroy, or rearrange as you please creates a world where you truly feel like the master of your own life. When you're living alone, there's a refreshing absence of the constant need for compromise. No more adjusting your plans, your preferences, or even your emotions to fit into someone else's expectations. You don't have to consider someone else's needs before making your decisions. Want to watch a movie at 3 a.m.? Do it. Craving a meal that no one else likes? Go for it without hesitation. Every choice you make is entirely yours, and it doesn't require negotiation or sacrifice. There's a kind of purity in this autonomy where you don't need to juggle the different desires, routines, or habits of another person. You don't have to accommodate someone else's schedule or temper their moods. You're not constantly weighing how your actions will impact someone else's comfort or happiness. It's all about you, your wants, your needs, your rhythm. Living without compromise also gives you the space to nurture the parts of yourself that might otherwise be put aside. The things you might have suppressed or altered in a relationship to avoid conflict or to make room for someone else's interests can now be fully embraced. You can spend your time exactly how you like, pursue your hobbies without guilt, and even take on projects or tasks without worrying about whether they'll fit into someone else's world. There's a deep satisfaction in knowing that in every moment you are living on your terms with no need to shift or bend for anyone else. Relationships, as fulfilling as they can be, often come with a tangled web of emotional ups and downs that can be draining. There are moments of joy, but also moments of frustration, disappointment, and confusion. The highs are often followed by the lows, and navigating that constant fluctuation can sometimes feel like an emotional roller coaster. Living alone, however, removes all of that. There are no unexpected emotional shifts to navigate, no arguments that leave you questioning the bond, no silences that hang heavily between you and another person. The emotional weight is lighter, leaving room for peace and clarity. Relationships also require constant effort to meet someone else's expectations. You're always considering what the other person needs, whether it's emotional support, attention, or shared activities. There's a constant balancing act of trying to make both people happy, which can be exhausting. In contrast, when you're alone, you don't have to second guess or overthink how your actions will impact someone else. There are no obligations to fulfill, no roles to play, no need to put aside your own desires to accommodate another. You're free to live authentically without constantly adjusting to meet the needs of someone else. Without the complexities of relationships, life becomes simpler. You wake up, you decide what you need, you do it, and there's no need to consider how it might affect another person's mood or plans. That simplicity is rare, and it brings a kind of tranquility that's hard to find when you're constantly working to meet expectations. The quiet freedom of living alone offers a space to breathe without the clutter of relationship drama, to simply exist in peace and enjoy the simplicity of life on your own terms. Living alone gives you the rare opportunity to create a space that is entirely your own, free from the influence or expectations of anyone else. Every item, every corner, every arrangement reflects your personal tastes and desires. There's no need to negotiate over where things go or how they should be done. Your home becomes an extension of yourself, a place where you can truly be who you are. Whether it's the decor, the furniture, or the simple way you organize your things, everything is a reflection of your personality, your comfort, and your individuality. No one else is there to change it, alter it, or rearrange it in a way that doesn't feel like your own. Your space becomes a sanctuary, a private world where you can retreat and escape from the demands of the outside world. It's a place where you don't have to answer to anyone, where you can let go of all the responsibilities, the roles you play for others, and simply exist. If you want to sit in silence, you can. If you want to fill the air with music or laughter, it's entirely up to you. There's no one to judge your choices, no one to question your decisions or impose their own preferences on your environment. This sense of control over your space is deeply empowering. It's not just about the physical space, but about the psychological freedom it provides. You can live in a way that feels authentic to you without worrying about how your actions might be perceived or how someone else might feel about your choices. Your space is yours to shape, a reflection of your desires and your comfort. It's where you can embrace your quirks, your solitude, and your creativity without the fear of judgment or criticism. Living alone allows you to fully inhabit your own life on your own terms, and there's something incredibly freeing in that. Living alone fosters a deep sense of self-sufficiency, teaching you to rely on yourself for everything you need. You learn how to handle life's challenges without waiting for someone else to step in, whether it's solving problems, managing daily responsibilities, or simply figuring out how to cope with a difficult day. You become the person who takes care of your own needs physically, emotionally, and mentally without needing someone else to fill those gaps for you. You find strength in knowing that you can navigate life's obstacles on your own, that your own resources, your resilience, your skills, your intuition are enough to get you through. This self-sufficiency extends beyond just the practical aspects of life. It becomes about learning to love and care for yourself in ways that don't require external validation or affirmation. Without someone else around to reassure you, you begin to look inward for approval. You start to understand your own worth without needing others to tell you that you're valuable. You embrace your own company, learning to be content with who you are without relying on anyone else to make you feel whole. You become your own greatest source of comfort, joy, and support. There's an intimacy in this relationship with yourself that isn't found in the constant need for reassurance or the dependency that often comes in relationships. Living alone allows you to focus on building a life that is fulfilling for you on your own terms. You discover what makes you happy, what brings you peace, and you create a life that aligns with your personal values and desires. You learn to prioritize your own happiness, not in a selfish way, but in a way that is rooted in self-respect and self-awareness. You begin to understand that fulfillment doesn't come from someone else's love or approval. It comes from nurturing your own soul, pursuing your own passions, and finding joy in your own achievements. Over time, you build a life that is rich with purpose and satisfaction, not because of anyone else, but because you've created it for yourself. Living alone allows you to focus on building a life that is fulfilling for you, on your own terms. You discover what makes you happy, what brings you peace, and you create a life that aligns with your personal values and desires. You learn to prioritize your own happiness, not in a selfish way, but in a way that is rooted in self-respect and self-awareness. You begin to understand that fulfillment doesn't come from someone else's love or approval. It comes from nurturing your own soul, pursuing your own passions, and finding joy in your own achievements. Over time, you build a life that is rich with purpose and satisfaction, not because of anyone else, but because you've created it for yourself. Living alone offers you the priceless freedom to be fully and unapologetically yourself. There's no one around to judge or comment on your habits, your quirks, or your preferences. You can embrace the full spectrum of who you are without fear of criticism or disapproval. If you want to be messy one day, leave clothes scattered across the floor and let dishes pile up in the sink, go ahead. If another day you feel the urge to tidy up, organize everything meticulously, or create a perfectly structured routine, that's your choice too. You are free to live according to whatever mood or need you're feeling in the moment, and there's no one to question it, no one to alter it. This freedom to be yourself isn't just about how you live physically, but also about how you express your personality. You can be spontaneous, doing things on a whim without needing to consider how someone else might feel about it. Want to rearrange your furniture on a lazy Sunday just because you're in the mood? You can. Want to stay up all night writing, painting, or indulging in your creative pursuits without worrying about disturbing someone else? It's your world, and you have the freedom to shape it exactly how you see fit. There's a liberation in knowing that you don't have to put on a mask, a role, or a version of yourself that fits the expectations of someone else. Living alone lets you shed the weight of maintaining any persona that you think others want to see. You can be as chaotic or calm, as lively or introverted, as spontaneous or structured as you desire without the need to adjust to someone else's way of life. Every moment is your own, and you can live it exactly as you choose with no one to answer to or explain yourself to. That's the true beauty of living alone, the freedom to exist as you are in your full, authentic self. Living alone provides the unique opportunity to embark on a journey of true self-discovery, unimpeded by the opinions, expectations, or influence of others. When there is no one around to sway your thoughts or shape your choices, you are left with only yourself, your reflections, and your inner desires. It's in the solitude that you can listen closely to your own voice, the one that might get drowned out by the noise of everyday life or the voices of others. You have the space to explore your thoughts, to dive deep into your feelings, and to understand what truly drives you. In the quiet moments, free from distractions or obligations, you gain clarity about who you are, what you need, and what truly matters to you. Without the pressure to conform or compromise, you can strip away the layers built by external influences and uncover the raw, authentic version of yourself. It's not about pleasing anyone else or trying to meet someone else's expectations. It's about being honest with yourself. You learn what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, and what your boundaries are without anyone else's input clouding your judgment. This process of self-discovery is transformative. You begin to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, and the nuances that make you who you are. Living alone allows you to experiment, to try new things, and to explore different sides of yourself without fear of judgment. It's the perfect environment to confront your fears, work through your challenges, and embrace your imperfections. With no one around to tell you who you should be, you have the freedom to become the person you're meant to be, at your own pace. In the end, living alone cultivates a sense of independence and self-reliance that is crucial to becoming the best version of yourself. You build confidence in your decisions, trust in your intuition, and acceptance of your flaws. There's a kind of magic in solitude that nurtures personal growth, giving you the chance to grow into the person you are truly meant to be. Through living alone, you not only discover yourself, but also learn to love and accept yourself fully.